If we're having an intense discussion, if we're learning how, as my colleagues here have pointed out, that we have to approach the future in a new way, they're not part of that discussion. We need to make them part of that discussion, both in school and out of school. So what would they learn? I found out, and I reflected upon my own education and education as we know it today. They are actually learning about the future, but not the right things. In science class, they learn about the future. They learn the future is predictable. If they do an experiment and come up with the right answer, they get an A, they go to a fancy university. So they get out into the economy or the political system and say, well, if we could predict that, why can't we predict who's going to win the election? And they believe someday they will be able to do that. I don't know someday. I don't expect to see that. They also believe that the future is more or less determined. And where did they learn that? From history class. One thing after the other, cause, effect, cause, effect, cause, effect, wars and revolutions and inventions and migrations and whatever, all caused by the previous events. Did anybody ever ask, did the people in that past think about the future as determined? Of course not. They didn't know the end of their story. We know the end of their story, and it looks like it's just, well, it was obvious that it was going to turn out that way. So they come out of school thinking the future is predictable, or someday it will be, that it's determined, and that whatever I do is not going to change things very much. So what do they learn, Susan? They learn the art, as Her Excellency said, the art of anticipation, the science of anticipation. They learn to expect both what we call the expected future, if everything just charges ahead as it is and nothing surprising happens. I don't think that's going to occur, but that's where we start. And then we also ask the question, what if? So they learn both of those, not one or the other. So we take the predicted future, which is what everybody knows about, and we challenge it and say, and these other things are also possible. But we also teach them that they are not victims. They are not only passive actors or watching a movie go by. They are the people who, as John Gardner said, we are the people we've been waiting for. We are the people who will change the future. And we can't change the big things, most of us. We don't have that kind of power. But we can change our neighborhood. And indeed, what I really want school students to do is to participate in the future of their schools. We want students to be leaders. When do we teach them that? When do we give them the chance to practice that? We want them to be critical thinkers. When do we give them the chance to practice that? Oh no, you have to learn all this stuff. Don't bring in all those things. So what they learn is two things basically: how to anticipate an unexpected future, and how to influence the future to the extent that they have that influence. They can't change everything, but they can change some things.